Alright everyone, welcome back, and this time we'll be talking about not very positive topic here in New Zealand, and that's the housing. Like what you're gonna see and what you can expect to get for your money if you're thinking about renting for small families like we are with two kids. So that's probably a 3 bedroom house, the size you're gonna be looking at, and I'm going to show you what sort of majority of the houses in terms of the condition you're gonna find here, especially in Auckland. And so, for example, this house we are renting now is a 3 bedroom house. We're renting it for $620 per week, which is more like a, I would say, average price for this size of the house. And I'll show you what sort of pitfalls you're gonna find in housing like this. Just remember that the average salary here in Auckland is about $50,000 a year. So roughly, the rent is probably gonna take like 70% of your salary right away. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and when it comes on quality, it is a very questionable option, to be honest. So going around the house, you're gonna see like a lot of areas which are quite rotten already. The windows are single glazed, so expect a lot of cold during the winter, and the winter might get quite bad sometimes, especially at night when temperature drops closer to 5-6 degrees Celsius, which isn't bad. Like, it's still manageable if you don't have holes in the windows, right? Which was our case, and I believe that's the case of many houses here in this region. So what you're gonna see here is that the deck is kind of like average deck, but that's still manageable. Single glazed windows, and that's the interior of the house, the lobby, or more like a living room. One thing to mention though is that because of that cold and the humidity, level of humidity in the houses, which is quite enormous, to be honest. I'm coming from the Europe and I haven't experienced something like this just yet. And all of that is just creating a very good environment for mold to develop. And that's a very, very real issue. You can actually bottle mold inside the house. It's still manageable, but you can't bottle the mold in between the walls. I'm talking about the mold which is not visible, which is right behind this wall, in that space between the interior and the external walls. So things like this. So expect to see something like that quite often. That's the mold, by the way. We need to clean up almost every single day. Mold also on the windows. I don't know if you can see that, but that's mold as well. That's all mold. Developed over, I would say, 2 days. And it's very frustrating. It is very frustrating. The rent is not cheap. The quality of living is poor. And for example, if I just show you something quickly. So when we moved in, we didn't really pay any attention to the manufacturers here in the house. For example, are actually all of that windows sealed properly, and they are not. So you can see that foam over here. I put in by myself, and the reason for that is that can you see how thick that foam is in between sash and the frame? It's about over 1 centimeter thick. And that's pretty much the gap which was there between the frame and the sash window. So in the winter we were not able to even heat up this property onto 22 degrees Celsius. Impossible. And look at this massive heat pump. That just wasn't possible. Like, you are actually standing maybe 2 meters away from this heat pump and you feel warm. But once when you do this, so you moved a couple meters left or right, everything just changed. So there was such a huge temperature leak in this house, and without actually sealing all the windows, we wouldn't be able to actually heat up this place properly. And that's why you're sick, your kids are gonna get sick soon, that's why you're gonna feel miserable every morning and every day, staying in the house. And look, this is the issue you're gonna find here in New Zealand everywhere. Unless you pay like $1,000 a week for place similar size to this, which has a double glazing and insulation in the walls, in the ceiling, actually under the house as well. Because in my experience, everyone who says that the house is insulated, just take it very, very with a lot of reserve, because the insulation level and understanding is just something I'm laughing loud every time when I hear it from the real estate agents. It's just such a frustrating part of the living experience in New Zealand. It's very, very frustrating, and unless you build a house or unless you buy a new house for about for 1.2, 1.5, $2 million, you won't be able to actually get that comfort of living in the house. So just be aware of that, and if you're keen to pay the premium price for a house like this, which is about 120, maybe 30 meters squares, with no garage, with shed which is falling apart, things which are falling apart, like appliances falling apart. That's quite normal. If you report some issue which is influencing your life and living in the house to the real estate agent or to the owner of the house, don't expect that issue to be resolved within a couple of days. It takes months, and there is basically no leverage to speed up the process on your side. There is basically none. It's very frustrating, and it seems like no one really gives a shit. Once you're renting, you are that cow for basically milking. Yeah, that's the milking, process. So that's my kids' bedroom 1, kid bedroom 2 over there, and this is the laundry place. Excuse that mess, but you can see how moldy doors are here. That's all mold. This is broken. Same thing here. You could actually see through. You can actually see through all of these gaps outside. That's how that's the scale of how bad it was. And all of that utility bills you have to pay are just increasing over the time, and especially in the winter, because of that poor insulation and the features of the house. It's just laughable. Mold everywhere in the shower, on the ceilings. Like you're gonna spend a lot of time just cleaning up the mold every single day. Just get used to it. If you see the mold over there, every single day, and if you are actually accepting that cost, then yeah, feel free to come to New Zealand. But if I would be able to choose again, then I would consider some other countries, just because of that poor housing experience and just the general lack of care, from the government, from the people, from wealthy, greedy society, and it's very no, it's very frustrating, especially for these families which are not able to get a higher income into the household. They will be literally just suffering every year, over the winter, all the time, and it's a big health issue too. If you want to risk that healthy your health, to just be here in New Zealand, then okay, yeah, it's your choice. But I wouldn't really bother. Considering all of that, it's a nice place, it's a nice country to live if you have assets. If you have assets and you're not the product, then you are in a good position. If you don't have that, don't even come here. That's my suggestion, and then my recommendation for everyone. Don't even come here. It's far away from everywhere. It's expensive, especially if you're planning to have a kids. It's very expensive. You need to pay for every single thing. Sometimes premium price, and what you're getting is just not justifiable for amount of money you're putting against. So that's it. Let me know what you think. I don't wanna be negative for this podcast, but just would like to warn you guys, who like whoever is thinking to come here to New Zealand and start family and living and da. I'm warning you that it's gonna be very challenging. It's gonna be very challenging to do so, because the houses are overpriced, and for what you're getting from your money, it's not it's not really well balanced. All right, have a good one, and talk to you soon.